Welcome, everyone. I'm happy to be with you today, or if you're watching this as a recording, thank you for taking the time to prepare. During this video, we are going to be talking about the WMI Community Development Seed Grant. And the content specifically included in this recording is for the April 2022 application cycle. So to begin, this opportunity is designed specifically for you, our WMI graduate scholars. WMI only accepts applications from WMI graduate scholars. Throughout the presentation, you will see photos of current projects that are being implemented, or also projects that have been implemented and completed by your fellows. Our agenda today includes an introduction and talking about the purpose of this webinar. This webinar is designed to help you prepare a stronger round one application. We'll also talk about starting to plan for when you do qualify, if you do not qualify for the April 2022 application cycle. We'll talk about the program background, eligibility requirements, how to apply, the current timeline, what reporting activities you'll be required to do when you are approved for the grant, and any Q&A. So let's talk about how this program was developed and why. This program is open only to WMI graduate scholars. It began in 2015. And since we have awarded over 75 community development grants, totaling over $75,000 US. This is an opportunity for scholars to design initiatives to address local community needs related to healthcare, education, the environment, women's rights, economic development, and more. We believe that local solutions are the best solutions, and that you, as a WMI graduate scholar, having completed your undergraduate studies, know what's needed most in your community. And you also know how to create local partnerships, to create sustainability. You know how to create engagement so that you can build a team to help implement your idea. And there's trust with you as a local leader creating an initiative in your community. We have two different grant categories: the seed, which is the first step, and then a growth grant, in which you can apply for if your seed grant is implemented successfully. So step one is to apply and be awarded and implement a seed grant. In the future, you may qualify for the growth grant. We have 3 application periods per year. For their seed grants, we accept applications twice a year, in the April cycle and the October cycle. For those who qualify and are invited to apply, the growth grant application cycle starts in September every year. So let's talk about the seed grant, why you're here today. This is a one-time grant in the amount of 100 to 1,000 USD. And this seed grant is designed to help start, expand, or expand a business, a community-based organization, a non-governmental organization, a community service project, or an event. These funds, if approved, are usually unrestricted and can be used for program expenses, operating expenses, materials, and supplies. Who is eligible? WMI graduate scholars in good standing. Good standing means that you've completed the most recent graduate scholar annual survey, and also you do not have a case open with the Scholar Review Board. In addition, current student scholars who will complete writing their final exams by June 30th, 2022, are also eligible to apply. If you have any questions, if you're eligible, please send an email to me sooner than later so that we can help make this determination, and hopefully you can start preparing your application for the April cycle. Now, how about grant proposal eligibility? So you've determined that you are eligible to apply. Now, how about your idea for what you'd like to fund? Seed grant proposals, as well as growth grant in the future, must be directly related to your area of study as supported by a WMI scholarship, or a second area of study if you self-funded your education further. And it could also be directly related to your profession if you've changed focuses. So these two elements are good to keep in mind when considering what your grant proposal will be focused on. You are required to be in your nation to implement your full grant. The actual grant itself, what you are proposing to do, you should be implementing it, and it should be managed by you. Of course, it's very recommended to have a support team to help implement your idea or to start your business, having other employees. However, you should be the one who's taking the lead to make what you're proposing take place in your local community. At this time, only graduate scholars who have studied a field of animal science or veterinary science are eligible to apply for animal-related projects. This has because we have noticed throughout past application and award cycles that sustainability in regards to animal-related projects has only been achieved by those who studied that particular area. And it's for those reasons why we have this eligibility requirement now. An individual cannot receive a seed and a growth grant within the same 12-month period. However, this is something just to keep in mind. It's not going to impact or affect your seed grant application. So the application timeline, the good news is that the application period will be open soon. It's a requirement to either attend this webinar or watch the recording. Only when the application period is open can you submit a proposal. So your dates for this upcoming application period for round 1 application submissions is April 1st to 17th, 2022. If you're watching because you're interested to apply in the future, the next application period will be October 1st through the 16th, 2022. There are additional specific dates about the application timeline on our webpage, so do check them out, please. And what should you be doing now? You should be confirming your personal eligibility as a WMI scholar. You should be thinking about your grant proposal idea, what you want to implement. Also considering if it meets eligibility requirements and confirming that. So the round 1 application process: determine your eligibility as a scholar, confirm that your proposed idea meets the eligibility requirements, prepare your application. This includes the following elements that are listed on this slide. Many of them, as you see, include a WMI template or the WMI document outlining what should be written in your written proposal. And these documents can be found on our website. You should download them and work with them as you're preparing your round 1 application. You can also upload additional supporting documentation within the application form. So perhaps some of these additional supporting documents would relate to what you are proposing to seek funding for. And then finally, submit your application by Sunday, April 17th, 2022. So just going into the application templates and resources available a little further, we have the resource for writing the proposal, the written proposal. and you need to follow the guidelines because the review committee will be looking at each section. Did the applicant write an abstract? Did the applicant define their beneficiaries? Did the applicant provide information in regards to a needs assessment? So definitely follow the written proposal guidelines. There's also a planning timeline, which is a WMI Excel sheet template to download. And there's a budget sheet, which is a WMI Excel sheet template to download. What's very important with the budget is that you list all possible expenses that could and that you are planning to incur for your initiative or your business or your NGO, CBO, community service event or project. In addition, make sure everything is itemized. So if you're seeking, or if you know that in the budget, you will have expenses related to transportation, please outline specifically 5 round-trip public transportation bus tickets from point A to point B, or 10 notebooks, 10 pens. By itemizing, it will make your budget much more clear to the reviewer what you are seeking the funds for or what you are expecting you'll incur as expenses. Also, if you are proposing an initiative or a business, something that's ongoing or occurring more than 1 month, you will need to create a 12-month budget. This is on tab 2 of the budget Excel sheet template. So make sure that you're checking out all the tabs on the bottom of that download. Some tips for application success: review our webpage. There's a lot of information there, and that's where you'll download the templates. Download the templates and begin planning, create different drafts, revise your work, draft your budget 1 day, then save it on your computer, come back to it in 2 days, take another look with fresh eyes. Take time to read the 5 tips for writing a successful proposal. Also, connect with other WMI graduate scholars who have implemented their seed grants for advice. We have regional coordinators who are also very familiar with this community development program. They are great resources. At this time, we have Alpha representing Asia and Oceania. We have Phoebe representing Central and Southern Africa. And we have Success representing West Africa. We are currently hiring for our East African regional coordinator. So for this application cycle, I would suggest reaching out to one of the 3 regional coordinators I just mentioned. Also, you can always send me an email and I can assist you or connect you with someone to help you in preparing your application. So beyond submitting your round 1 application, we've detailed here what else will take place. Beyond the review, you'll receive written feedback. Should your application be moving forward to round 2, you'll meet with WMI staff to talk about improvements needed or suggestions. You'll submit your round 2 proposal, where then it will once again be reviewed. And then we hope to be providing you with an award agreement. Other steps here, maybe you want to take a screenshot of this slide, will take place once you have been awarded a community development seed grant. If you're awarded the seed grant, you will have monthly reporting. This includes an expense and revenue tracker and collecting receipts, and also M&E metrics. These are 2 monthly reports that WMI will create for you, and then you'll do the data input every month on your side. There are short 3, 6, and 12-month Google Form reports where you provide a formal update on what has taken place. We ask that you take pictures during the implementation of your grant-supported initiative, and it's great if someone else can take some pictures of you interacting, either with your beneficiaries in the planning process or interacting with a customer at your business. So next steps, an email will be sent to those who attended today with this slide and also the recording, should you want to watch again. You're encouraged to review the Community Development Grant webpage. Make sure you download the templates. Write to me with any questions. I'm happy to connect you with another resource to support you. Reach out to your regional coordinators for support, and be sure to submit your application between April 1st to 17th, 2022. There is no penalty for submitting on April 17th. From my perspective, it means you used the full application period to craft the best proposal possible. So my recommendation for you is to utilize as much of this time between April 1st to 17th as possible to write and review and revise your round one proposal. A bunch of people have been asking about the growth grant, and so I'm happy that we have this closing slide here. So what is the growth grant? This is a one-time grant of up to $5,000 designed to provide funding and strategic advisory support for the growth or expansion of your seed grant initiative. So it's a follow-on grant. First, you are awarded the seed grant, and if successfully implemented, it is then where you would apply for a growth grant to support the same idea. These funds of up to $5,000 will support one-time capital investments, the procurement of new systems, resources to increase staffing, and we will support matching fund opportunities. A key eligibility requirement is, as I've just said, you have successfully implemented a seed grant for the same ongoing project. So, why this is important, what you should consider with this second bullet here. When creating your seed grant proposal, if you have the plan for continuation, for growth in the future, for your seed grant proposal, please make sure that your goals and objectives are very strategic. You want to start small with a seed grant when you're beginning a new initiative. Be focused. Use the SMART methodology to create your goals and to create pathways for you to be successful in a 12-month period to implement what you're proposing. It's based upon your seed grant success or implementation that you qualify for the growth. We would just like to take a moment here to point out that the photos on this slide are the individuals, your fellow WMI graduate scholars, who have been awarded growth grants thus far in the program. We've had 2 application cycles for growth grants, and all of these graduate scholars are expanding their NGOs, their businesses, or expanding offerings at their secondary schools in their country. So with that, I thank you very much for learning more about the community development seed grant process, how to apply, checking eligibility requirements, when to apply, where to find resources, and how the seed grant then connects to the growth grant opportunity offered by WMI. Thank you for attending. If you have any further questions, please email me at Nicole, Nicole, @wellsmountain.com, and we look forward to receiving your application by April